It's been 6 years since Colorado voters approved what many call the greatest social experiment in America.
I don't think the city could have fully anticipated what it would look like when marijuana was legalized.
And whether the state's better off because of it depends on who you ask.
I would rather go build schools from the tax revenue that's generated from this than building prisons and jails.
People become so intoxicated with the revenues that they lose sight of all of the social costs.
Talk to any opponent to legal weed and they'll tell you this. Since legalization, the number of people dying on Colorado roads has steadily climbed, up 35% since 2012. That after years of falling, the rate of violent crime has risen too, faster than the crime rate nationwide. And that the number of marijuana-related hospitalizations is soaring, up 148% between 2012 and 2016.
And you have no doubt that Colorado today is less safe because of this.
No doubt.
Bob Troyer is Colorado's U.S. Attorney.
We see the violent crime cases, we see the black market cases, and we see what's happened in the black market industry that views commercialization as cover for their activities.
Back in 2012, voters were told that legalization would effectively kill the black market for weed, replacing it with a safer, regulated product.
Has that happened?
No, not at all. Not at all.
For years since legalization, police have been busy raiding scores of illegal home grows and seized millions of dollars in black market weed. Much of it meant for out-of-state clients, but some also sold here in Colorado. Even industry advocates admit it's tough to get their arms around.
We have been and are well aware of the fact that the black market is alive and well. They're not going to go away. And law enforcement is focusing more and more on it.
And then there are Colorado's roads. They are less safe today than they were before marijuana was legalized, with traffic deaths up 35% since 2012. No one can say definitively that marijuana is the cause, but they also can't say that it isn't.
This is Brian, his wife Erin.
Ed Wood's son Brian was killed by a driver that was high in Washington state. Since then, he's made spreading the dangers of drug driving his life's work. Part of the problem, he says, is that unlike with alcohol, impairment from marijuana is harder to measure.
Since marijuana is even less dangerous than alcohol, many people think they can drive safely under marijuana, and they cannot.
And according to a survey by the Colorado Department of Transportation, plenty of drivers are smoking and then driving. 69% reported driving under the influence of marijuana at least once in the past year, with 27% admitting they drive high almost daily. The U.S. Attorney says they're all red flags that should have Colorado and Michigan's attention, and why last month he wrote an op-ed in the Denver Post saying that the state's marijuana movement needs to catch its breath.
If they're going to choose, let's look at the pros and cons instead of buying into the gold rush frenzy that has been commercialization in Colorado.